will not be visiting the Macy's in San Francisco's Union Square. It appears to be Santa's first absence from the Union Square Macy's store in 80 years outside of the COVID pandemic. Instead, Macy's website says Santa will be taking his sled on an American tour, visiting 12 locations he has not appeared at before. It looks like the only location he'll be visiting in California this season is in Southern California. Well, a street in San Francisco is being renamed in honor of a legendary Bay Area photographer. 16th Street between Noe and Castro will soon be known as Jim Marshall Way. Well, Jim Marshall, who once lived on that street, took photos of rock music's biggest names for years. He was the official photographer for the Beatles, their final concert at Candlestick Park, and he was the head photographer at Woodstock. Jim Marshall died in 2010. That stretch of 16th Street will be renamed in his honor at a ceremony December 19th.
A community in mourning following a mass shooting at a child's birthday party in Stockton. How people who lost loved ones are mourning, and the investigation that's still in the beginning stages. Then starting today, a San Francisco neighborhood will have its third supervisor in under 3 months. Why the new appointee says this is an intensely personal challenge. Then after going over the river and through the woods, everyone's back at work and school today. How the Thanksgiving holiday travel period shaped up on the roads and in the skies.
From KTVU Fox 2 News, this is Mornings on 2.
Good morning and welcome back. I'm Garcia Micaelia.
And good morning, I'm Dave Clark. Happy December 1st.
Rabbit, first words out of your mouth.
Giving you the chance.
We're going to have a good month, Dave.
It's Monday, December 1st, and Rosemary's here. Is it cold enough for you?
Oh, more than enough.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, the thicker boots, the thicker coat,
yes.
Maybe even a scarf and gloves. Good morning to both of you. And yes, temperatures this morning in the 40s, but we have a little bit of breeze out there, and that means it could easily feel like it's 30s for you. A gorgeous start from this vantage point, though, where we have a beautiful light up above the low cloud deck. Those high clouds helping to paint a beautiful picture. Sunrise coming in San Francisco time 7:06. We do have an advisory along our coastline that will go until Wednesday evening. Increased risk of sneaker waves and rip currents. Meanwhile, the visibility out there this morning, not too bad, although you may find just sudden drops in visibility, which makes it hazardous. Be prepared for some of that patchy fog out there at this hour. And the winds. SFO reporting 14 miles per hour. Half Moon Bay reporting 7. So as I mentioned before, even though we're in the 40s, it could easily feel like 36 degrees in Half Moon Bay instead of 46. A blustery, brisk start to the day into the afternoon. Temperatures ranging from low 50s to low 60s with a mix of sun and clouds. Some of those inland cities, including areas like Antioch, where we've been really struggling to clear those clouds in the afternoon. 52 the afternoon high for you there. All right, we've had our holiday fun, and now we have to get back to work. And wow, it's a tough commute out there this morning, Sal.
It sure is. Everyone's back, Rosemary. You're right. And people are backing up at many spots. I want to talk about a crash that's not that major, but it's still affecting traffic southbound 680 right after 84 in the Sunol grade. It's on the shoulder, but it really did a number on Vallecillos Road and on the 680 freeway getting out of Pleasanton. It's getting better. Again, none of the lanes are blocked, and we're seeing some improvement, but it's still not the greatest way to start that. Then 880 south, there's a deadly crash at 23rd, actually between 16th and 23rd. And that crash has been there now for more than an hour. If you want to get through Oakland, use 580 instead of southbound 880. And the Bay Bridge is backed up beyond the maze for a 30-minute plus delay. 7:02. Let's get back to the headlines.
Thank you, Sal. The mayor of Stockton is offering a $25,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of whoever's responsible for this weekend's mass shooting at a children's birthday party. 4 people were killed, 11 others wounded in gunfire at a banquet hall Saturday night. Authorities say 3 of the people who died are under the age of 15. The San Joaquin County Sheriff says this was a targeted shooting that may have been gang-related.
These animals walked in and shot children at a children's birthday party. We're confident that this was not a random act. They walked into this area and was probably looking for somebody in particular. Why they did that, what they're part of, who they are, we don't know.
The sheriff says it appears several people opened fire inside the banquet hall during the party, with more than 100 guests there, many of them children. Authorities recovered a gun on the roof of the banquet hall. So far, no arrests.
Our time now 7:03 in the community there in Stockton, gathering to remember the victims of that mass shooting. Hundreds of people gathered for a vigil at the site of that tragedy. Bullet holes are still in the walls of that banquet hall where the shooting occurred. And our KTVU cameras showed some of the scattered toys outside of the building that may have been left by children who were at the party.
It's very important to show compassion for the community, especially when young children have died in this tragedy. My daughter, she's 8 years old, and I can identify with the parents.
Now, the mayor of Stockton wants help from the federal government to deal with the gun violence in Stockton. She also wants to declare a state of emergency. Meantime, police in San Jose are expected to give us more details today about the shooting inside the Valley Fair Mall on Black Friday. 3 people were wounded in the shooting. Investigators believe it was gang-related. Police say a gunman shot and wounded a man after a heated argument outside of the Macy's store. A woman and a 16-year-old girl were hit by stray bullets. All 3 are expected to survive. Now, the shopping mall reopened Saturday with tighter security. So far, no arrests have been made.
A new message from BART this morning that ridership is up and crime is down. Our Devin Truby just spoke with the police chief at BART a minute ago here. Devin, let's bring you in. Tell me what you two talked about.
Yeah, good morning, Garcia. We really covered everything from overall crime, property crime, cell phone thefts, which have been a real issue for riders in the BART system, but most importantly, how they plan to keep people safe during the holiday season, as many people are riding this time of year, coming into the city for events, or we get lots of tourists and first-time riders as well. Now, we spoke to the chief this morning. He's asking people to give BART a second chance. If you haven't ridden recently, or maybe even not before, he has asking you to come back out and allow them to prove it to you that BART is safer and a good source of public transportation. He also shared some new numbers with us this morning that overall crime in the system is down. This data compares everything from this year up until the point of October and compares it with the year previously. Take a listen.
Overall in the system, crime is down over 45%, and in our San Francisco stations, we're seeing crime down by over 57%. And we have a strong collaboration, not just with our BART staff, but also with San Francisco. So Mayor Lurie has really put together a safety plan in the city of San Francisco, and I'm working closely with Chief of Police Paul Yep at the San Francisco Police Department, and Sheriff Paul Miyamoto at the San Francisco Sheriff's Department, and also the business improvement districts here who have ambassadors out.
So we are talking about the overall number of incidents, both property crimes and violent crimes, seeing reductions in all of the categories in comparison to this time last year. Again, that data running for the entire year and through October. The number of cell phone deaths also down. Currently, BART Police is looking to fill more than 23 open officer positions and is actively hiring. Now, in terms of the holidays, they said they do staff up for certain events like the tree lighting we experienced and maybe some peak holiday shopping hours. But other than that, things stay pretty much the same. Reporting live from Pell Street BART, Devin Truby, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
Devin, thank you. San Francisco Mayor Daniel Lurie has named a new District 4 supervisor. Alan Wong is to be sworn in this afternoon. He's a lifelong resident of the Sunset, a City College trustee, and a first lieutenant with the California National Guard. Wong replaces Bea Alcaraz, who resigned after 1 week amid allegations of tax evasion and mismanagement of her former pet store. In a statement, the mayor said, "From the very beginning, I've been clear about the kind of supervisor District 4 needs, someone who lives and breathes the district, and someone who can build bridges within it. Alan Wong is that person, and I'm proud to appoint him as the new District 4 supervisor." Wong said in his own statement, "I'm stepping up to be District 4 supervisor because I believe the Sunset and San Francisco can thrive again. This is my home. This community invested in me, and I'm ready to invest everything back into it."
Our time now 7:08. Well, today is World AIDS Day. It's the 37th annual observance, remembering the hundreds of thousands of people who've died from HIV and AIDS. AIDS. Later today, the National AIDS Memorial Grove in Golden Gate Park will hold a ceremony allowing people to heal, hope, remember, and recommit. Organizers say World AIDS Day is also a time to support people still living with AIDS. And there are several Bay Area events to mark World AIDS Day. Kaiser Permanente in Santa Rosa is hosting a community event. It's focused on the progress that's been made in fighting HIV and AIDS. Kaiser will also host a panel of the National AIDS Memorial Quilt, the biggest community arts project in history. That quilt will be on display all week. People attending were invited to bring an object of remembrance and share a memory of the more than 700,000 people who've died from AIDS-related illnesses since the epidemic started in 1981.
The Thanksgiving holiday was another record-breaking weekend for travel. AAA reports 81 million people traveled 50 miles or more from home over the past 10 days. It's an increase of 1.6 million from last year. Yesterday was the second busiest travel day of the holiday period, which began the Friday before Thanksgiving.
Unbelievably empty and smooth. I couldn't believe it, actually. We got into Dulles Airport. There was nobody there. Security was fast. Got right to our gate. Plane was easy and on time and actually early.
It's been fine. I left probably like a week before Thanksgiving happened, and then coming back, it was fine for the most part. If any difficulties, because I changed my own flights.
AAA reports the national average for a gallon of regular gas was around $3.02 a gallon, the lowest it's been in years.
Time is 7:09, and we do have a lot of people back. Thanksgiving is over, and people are back. This backup is stretching beyond the MacArthur Maze all the way out to perhaps almost to 580-24. No crashes. This is a look at the Richmond-San Rafael Bridge. You can see the traffic there is going to be okay. I do want to touch on southbound 880 at 16th. They had a deadly crash there. They're still clearing it up here because it's been there for an hour, but someone died in that collision, and traffic is backed up all the way out of West Oakland. If you're driving through Oakland, you should use 580 eastbound instead. And let me check on the South Bay. Last time I checked, there wasn't a lot going on. This commute usually gets going a little later. Highway 85 is a little bit slow heading north through the Cambrian Park area, but the rest of the commutes are still doable here. 7:10. Let's go back to the desk.
All right, Sal. Well, drivers of electric or hybrid cars enjoyed a certain perk for years, but that perk ended today. We'll tell you about the penalty you can get for driving in the carpool lane.
49ers quarterback Brock Purdy gave fans a thrill in the team's big win, and they could tell he was having fun on the field. The only other person who'd ever seen him do that before.
Jacoby and Myers has been a proud part of the California community since 1972. We've stood by our neighbors, helping hundreds of thousands of families get the justice they deserve. Whether it's fighting insurance companies or fighting for you in court, we'll stand up for you. At Jacoby and Myers, we know the stakes: your family, your health, your future. For over 50 years, we've been California's trusted name in legal care. If you've been injured, call us today at 1-800-5-MILLION, because you deserve justice.
7:14, some of this morning's top stories here. Starting today, you could get a ticket for driving solo in the carpool lane in your electric or hybrid vehicle. The grace period for those EV stickers is over as of today. This means solo drivers in electric and hybrid cars can no longer drive in the carpool lane during carpool hours, and they no longer qualify for reduced tolls. The program started in 2001 and was not granted an extension by the Trump administration. Tickets could go as high as $490. This is Cyber Monday. Sales are expected to set another online shopping record. Adobe Analytics predicts U.S. shoppers will spend more than $14 billion today. Experts say heavy discounts on electronics and apparel are driving much of the demand, and that more people are using buy now, pay later plans to stretch their holiday budgets. The NFL is announcing more performers for the upcoming Super Bowl at Levi Stadium. Singer-songwriter Charlie Puth is set to sing the national anthem at Super Bowl 60. Brandi Carlile will perform America the Beautiful, and R&B star Coco Jones will perform Lift Every Voice and Sing, known as the Black National Anthem. The Super Bowl is February 8th.
All right, our time is 7:15. The 49ers now have a 3-game winning streak after their first victory in Cleveland since 1984. KTVU's Andre Sr. is here to show us some of the highlights and what the 49ers had to overcome. Good morning, Andre.
Good morning to you, Dave.
Yeah.
The Niners defeated the Browns 26-8, and it happened in a cold, wet, and windy stadium on the banks of Lake Erie. This win on the road is boosting hopes the 49ers could do well in the postseason. Quarterback Brock Purdy recovered from a rough game against the Carolina Panthers a week ago with a strong performance in Cleveland yesterday. Purdy rushed for 1 touchdown and passed for another against Cleveland's highly ranked defense. Sky Moore had a 66-yard punt return, highlighting a strong day for special teams. Coach Kyle Shanahan said the Niners made very few mistakes on both offense and defense.
We're really hoping we could get some turnovers, not turn it over on offense. We're hoping for some big plays from special teams, which we got the huge one with Sky on the return, got a huge one on the turnover. I looked at it as almost our D got 3 turnovers, so I think we got them off on 3 4th downs. When you play that way, just eventually you're going to get the points, and we did.
Well, Purdy says the team's strong performance in brutal weather proved San Francisco can win important games under very difficult conditions.
Coming here against a great defense like that and just the conditions that we were playing in, I think it comes down to protecting the ball and letting the defense do their thing, and then when we have the opportunities to strike on offense, we got to capitalize on it. So that was really the mindset.
San Francisco's victory spoiled the first home start of Cleveland's quarterback Shedeur Sanders. He is the son of former 49er great Deion Sanders. The Niners now enter the bye week with a record of 9-4. Right now, they hold the final wild card playoff spot, but the Rams lost yesterday, which means the Red and Gold still have a chance to win the NFC West. San Francisco will host the Tennessee Titans on Sunday, December 14th. Garcia.
Andre, thank you. 7:17. It's a back to work, back to school, back to everything kind of day. Let's head out and see what Sal Castaneda is watching.
All right, yeah, you know, this morning we do have traffic on 80 westbound that's slow coming up to the Bay Bridge. You can see that traffic is moving along relatively well, but it gets slow once you get to the Bay Bridge Toll Plaza, Highway 24. I've been looking at all the commutes, San Mateo Bridge. Really everywhere is back to full businesses as usual here as I look at some of these commutes. So I want to let you know that we do have some problems, though. Southbound 880, as you drive to 16th, they're still clearing a deadly crash that's been there for more than an hour. I would advise you to use eastbound 580 instead as you drive eastbound through Oakland. That'll be much better than heading on southbound 880, for example, off the Bay Bridge. Now it's 7:18. Here's Rosemary with the cold forecast.
You're right. It is a chilly one out there, Sal, and the clouds joining us once again from the patchy dense fog. Low clouds, high clouds providing a beautiful sunrise, though. Sun rose at 7:06, and there you have it there. A nice glow in the sky. We will continue with partly cloudy skies for today, and we'll start to get some better clearing in the days ahead. This ridge of high pressure is going to remain locked over the west. That continues to push the storms up and over California. They land on the backside, and that is what creates our offshore breeze. So we're not going to get any wet weather, but we are going to get that offshore wind, and that offshore wind will help to kind of chew up that fog. And with that, hopefully a better viewing of the full moon coming our way on Thursday, which which happens to be the final one of 2025. It peaks at 3:14, so it's going to peak before we even see it in the sky. The moon will rise at 4:26 and does not set until Friday morning, 7:05. With that, the king tides are back, and we do have a coastal flood advisory that begins tomorrow morning with the high tide coming in at 8:24 Tuesday morning. Do expect the low-lying areas adjacent to the bay to have some flooding. We also have the beach hazard alert that now goes until Wednesday evening for an increased risk of sneaker waves as well as rip currents. Again, 8:24 tomorrow morning for the high tide and that possibility of some low-lying flooding coming to the Bay Area, and it will continue day after day until it expires on Sunday. Temperature-wise, again, a chilly start out there. Temperatures are slowly rebounding, although 43 degrees is not nice. Novato, Santa Rosa, San Francisco, and if you have a little bit of a breeze outside, feels even chillier than that. Low 50s to low 60s expected for the afternoon. Some of our inland cities closer to the Sacramento Valley, the Central Valley, the Carquinez Strait, the Delta region, really struggling even in the afternoon to clear those clouds, and that's where we're seeing some of our chilly temps. But as we get into the days ahead with the drier air moving in, less fog, low 60s expected for us all the way into the weekend with dry conditions. Dave, Garcia?
Rosemary, thank you. Today, Pope Leo visited Lebanon. His visit to a site honored by both Christians and Muslims and how it spoke to a larger mission.
Also, Luigi Mangione back in court, and legal analysts say his lawyers are making an argument that could dramatically affect the outcome of his trial.
What a pretty picture. If you haven't been down to Santa Cruz in this sort of early, the transition between fall and winter is almost underway.
The bubble coat.
Oh, yes. Puffy jacket, the little scarf and gloves. You need to be warm on a day like this. But what a romantic morning to be out and about. Because maybe you're not there right now, we were so happy to bring you this live picture, a live look outside. 7:24 here, back to the news. As happening today, a man accused of killing the United Healthcare CEO will be back in court. Another live look now, this time at the Manhattan Supreme Court in New York City. Luigi Mangioni's attorneys are looking to have some key evidence tossed from his state murder case, including diary entries. Mangioni was arrested at a McDonald's in Pennsylvania following a manhunt that spanned multiple days. United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was shot and killed in Manhattan last December. During the arrest, officers say they found several pieces of evidence in Mangioni's backpack that linked him to the murder. Mangioni's lawyers argue that police illegally searched his bag without a warrant and that the evidence should be tossed. Theranos founder Elizabeth Holmes may be seeking a pardon from President Trump. Her social media account's been posting statements proclaiming her innocence while expressing strong support for President Trump. Some legal experts say she's likely seeking a presidential pardon after losing an appeal in court earlier this year. Holmes is in a Texas prison following her 2022 fraud conviction connected to her blood testing startup. It's unclear who's posting on her account, as Holmes does not have internet access behind bars.
Our time now, 7:25. Activists plan to protest against Amazon today, pressuring the company to end its contracts with ICE. Organizers accuse Amazon of being complicit in the Trump administration's deportations of undocumented immigrants by giving the technology services for ICE surveillance. Now, protesters are gathering at Amazon locations across the country, including Oakland, Chicago, New York City, Washington, D.C., and more. The rally in Oakland starts at 2 p.m. right in front of the Amazon-owned Whole Foods store on Bay Place. And lawmakers on both sides of the political aisle calling for a congressional review of the recent military strikes on boats in the Caribbean. Those strikes are targeting boats that the Trump administration suspects are smuggling drugs. But some Republicans and Democrats on Capitol Hill are worried about a Washington Post report that says Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth issued a verbal order for all crew members to be killed during those attacks. The lawmakers say attacking survivors of the initial missile strike poses serious legal and moral concerns.
Christian and Muslim leaders in the Middle East are praising Pope Leo as he makes his first trip to Lebanon as leader of the Catholic Church. A huge crowd gathered in the rain as the Pope arrived in a Lebanese city northeast of Beirut early this morning. The Pope then prayed for peace at the tomb of a Lebanese saint. The Vatican says one goal of the Pope's trip to Lebanon is to improve the interfaith ties between the Catholic Church and Muslim community.
Time is now 7:27. Several Tahoe ski resorts depending on man-made snow to open for the new season. The mountains that have their snow-making machines on full blast.
On this Cyber Monday, we'll go live inside an Amazon facility to see how people and robots work together to fulfill the millions of orders being placed on what's expected to be one of the busiest buying days of the year.
Good morning. The continuing search for a mass shooter in Stockton. What the police say about Friday's attack at a child's birthday party that left 4 people dead and 11 others hurt. And San Francisco public school teachers frustrated about the pace of contract negotiations, the very important vote they've lined up for Wednesday.
From KTVU Fox 2 News, this is Mornings on 2.
Well, good morning and welcome back to Mornings on 2. I'm Dave Clark.
Good morning. I'm Gassia Mikhaelian. It's the first day of December, Monday. Let's get back to work and school and all those things. After a nice period of time off, we have Rosemary Roscoe back, and she's helping to guide us through this chill in the morning.
Yes, you're right. Good morning to both of you. And on this Back to Work Monday, that chilly start, joining us with temperatures in the upper 30s to upper 40s. Bundle up before you head out the door. A live look there over San Francisco, where we have the low clouds, we have high clouds. We are also dealing with a little bit of patchy, dense fog once again, although it doesn't look widespread. As we get into the afternoon, the cool conditions will remain, especially if you are stuck under that cloud cover. Low 50s to low 60s expected across the region. I'll be back at 7:39 to give you a complete look at your forecast for today. But first, let's see what is going on this Back to Work Monday with that commute. Good morning, Sal.
Good morning, Rosemary. Yeah, it's busy. A lot of people are back. Thanksgiving holiday is over for most people. Let's go right to the bridges. The San Mateo Bridge traffic is going to be moderately heavy as you drive across. Bay Bridge was heavier than normal today. It was backed up beyond the maze after 7 o'clock. So a lot of people are back, and it could be that fewer people are allowed to use the carpool lane starting this morning as that electric vehicle permission has worn out or gone away. So more people will be in the regular lanes. I do want to remind you that if you're driving into Oakland, southbound 880 near 16th, they're still clearing a crash that happened earlier this morning. It was a deadly crash, and also they had to do a pretty lengthy investigation. Eastbound 580 is your alternate. 7:32. Let's go back to the desk.
All right, Sal, thank you. Well, we still don't know who pulled the trigger in the deadly mass shooting at a weekend birthday party in Stockton. 3 children and a young adult were killed. Several other people were hurt. KTVU's James Torres is near San Joaquin County, where the Sheriff's Department is handling the investigation. Good morning, James.
Good morning to you, Dave. We are just outside that banquet hall venue here in Stockton, and outside you see dozens of candles that are still lit, a teddy bear, flowers, all part of a makeshift memorial that has been here since that deadly shooting. Now, this morning, we know there is a $25,000 reward for anyone with information that leads to a significant arrest. We do know that police officers in Stockton did arrest a handful of people after that shooting, but the San Joaquin Sheriff's Office is not identifying at this time any suspects. It all happened Saturday night at a banquet hall during a children's birthday party with more than 100 people there. Our crews saw bullet holes in the walls of the venue and children's toys covered in blood. We heard from witnesses who say masked gunmen came in and started firing. A total of 15 people were hurt. Ages of those killed, 8, 9, 14, and 21. Stockton Mayor Christina Fugazi says she's reaching out to the governor's office as well as senators and the White House for additional resources.
I've also requested a U.S. attorney because we're not going to allow this to continue in the city. So once they get the message, once these gang members get the message that we're not playing in the city of Stockton, then they're going to go somewhere else.
San Joaquin Sheriff is not yet commenting on any gang activity. The office is asking for anyone with information to come forward. The community last night putting together a vigil. The Stockton Unified School District says grief counselors will be available at all 55 of their school campuses. The superintendent this morning saying the district is committed to supporting the community throughout this heartbreaking time. We're live this morning in Stockton. I'm James Torres, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
All right, James, thank you. Time now 7:34. Police in Rohnert Park say a 17-year-old was arrested in connection with a deadly hit and run. Now, on Friday night, investigators say a pedestrian was hit and killed by a pickup truck near Snyder Lane and Capri Way. Police found the suspect in Petaluma and took him into custody. Rohnert Park police say the name of the suspect will not be released. He's a minor. The victim has also not been identified.
We're learning more about the suspected attacker in last week's shooting of 2 National Guard soldiers in Washington, D.C. Ramanlu Lochinwal is from Afghanistan. He moved to the U.S. 4 years ago after working in a special Afghan army unit backed by the CIA. According to the Associated Press, he'd been unraveling for years, was unable to hold a job, and flipped between long stretches of isolation and taking sudden weeks-long cross-country drives. The report also says he'd been struggling to adjust to his life in the United States. The Secretary of Homeland Security says that he was radicalized after arriving in this country.
I do believe it was through connections in his home community and state, and we're going to continue to talk to those who interacted with him, who were his family members, talk to them. So far, we've had some participation, but anyone who has information on this needs to know that we will be coming after you, and we will bring you to justice.
Lochinwal is facing first-degree murder for the death of 20-year-old Sarah Beckstrom. 24-year-old Andrew Wolf remains in critical condition. Lochinwal has been vetted by the intelligence community for his work with the CIA before coming to the U.S. He was granted asylum this year, which would have warranted another screening.
Time now 7:36. Later this week, members of San Francisco's teachers union scheduled to take a strike vote. Now, that vote is set for Wednesday. It follows the union's 8 months of contract talks with the San Francisco Unified School District. Those negotiations failed to reach an agreement. The two sides are still far apart on proposed pay raises for teachers, expanded health care, and other problems. Now, frustrated union leaders say the San Francisco teachers are ready to walk the picket line. The school district vows to bargain in good faith to work out an agreement. Well, the Menlo Park School District is cracking down on e-bikes. Starting this week, students under 16 years old can't bring an e-bike that exceeds 20 miles an hour or can run without pedaling onto the campus. The school district cites growing safety concerns and some recent crashes. Officials say many of these bikes have been illegally modified to go up to 50 or 60 miles an hour, and police recorded several collisions in the area. Menlo Park is one of the first South Bay school districts to adopt that ban.
Construction begins today on a 2-mile stretch of 19th Avenue in San Francisco, which is likely to cause traffic and longer commute times. Caltrans plans to repave all 6 lanes of 19th Ave between Lincoln, south of Golden Gate Park, all the way down to Sloat during the next year. Commuters say they are not looking forward to the closures.
I think it would be horrible for traffic, horrible for businesses along this section, and then people that live here.
Phase 1 begins today at Sloat. Crews will repave parking strips first, with full lane repaving planned for Phase 2 in the spring. Caltrans says work will generally take place Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 3, with 2 lanes open and 1 lane closed in the direction of active work. We should also note some bus stops could be relocated during the work, so we'll keep a close eye on what's happening.
Yeah, I know Sal will. Hey, Sal, you've been busy this morning. People are back from the holidays.
Let me just say about 19th Avenue. I grew up in San Francisco.
Yeah.
I learned how to drive on that street, and I figured out as a high school teenager, you could time the lights by driving 33 miles an hour. You would make the whole stretch between Sloat and the park, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't think that works anymore. I think they've changed the speed limit, but we were so proud of ourselves back then. All right, good morning, everyone. Let's go out and take a look at the East Bay. Westbound 24, moderately heavy. It has been okay. 680 is a little slow into Alamo. We haven't talked a lot about Contra Costa County because those backups look about the same thing for El Sobrante and 80 westbound. The Bay Bridge, though, that was slower than usual. That is backed up beyond the maze. I do also want to mention that southbound 888 is clearing up a little bit. They had a crash at 16th. It looks like they're making some progress. I would still avoid that area and use eastbound 580 instead. Now the promised update at 7:39. You promised us an update, and here we are. Rosemary Orozco.
And I'm going to have it for you there, Sal. Good morning. Giving you a live look outside our doors where we can see the fog, the clouds, both high and low. And as we get into the afternoon, partly cloudy skies expected. How about the temps? Well, it's a chilly one out there, and we'll check on those momentarily. We do need to talk about the advisory that remains along our coastline, now extended until Wednesday evening. You're going to find some large breaking waves out there and the increased risk of sneaker waves as well as rip currents for the entire coastline, North Bay, into Monterey. That to be aware of if you're planning on spending any time towards the shore over the next couple of days. Meanwhile, when it comes to the fog, the patchy dense fog, not as bad as it has been, although Santa Rosa now reporting visibility down to about 2 miles there, most between 5 and 10. We could have patches of thick fog in between where we're not picking up on that reading. So I'm just going to say be careful as you're getting into areas, especially the Valley, the Delta region, the Carquinez Strait, moving towards the Sacramento-San Joaquin Valley area. You're going to find it 46 degrees right now in San Francisco, 40 in Napa. 50 degrees at Half Moon Bay, but here's the thing about Half Moon Bay. It's a bit breezy out there. Right now, a north breeze at 13 miles per hour. So even though it's 50, it could still feel like 40. SFO reporting an onshore breeze, or I should say an easterly breeze at 14 miles per hour. A chill in the air to begin, and for the afternoon, temperatures are going to remain on the cool side, especially for the inland East Bay, 54 in Concord, 52 in Antioch. We will get into some drier air, and that will help to clear things out. A better look at the extended forecast all the way into the weekend coming up.
Rosemary, thank you. A few Lake Tahoe ski resorts were open for the long holiday weekend. Mount Rose, Boreal, and Heavenly are up and running. Other resorts say they hope to open soon. Snowmaking machines are running whenever conditions allow. Some resorts, such as Sierra Tahoe, have not announced an opening date just yet. Kirkwood says it'll open for the winter on Friday. Meanwhile, for many, the countdown to Christmas is on. And for those who put up a Christmas tree, the almost age-old debate continues.
It does. So we want to stir the pot a little bit. Let's go over to Andre Senior right here with our viewer poll of the day.
Interesting one. We'll talk afterwards after I get to the question. All right, this morning we're asking, what type of Christmas tree do you prefer? Your options, real or artificial? 73% of you say artificial right now. 27% of you say real. Go to KTVU.com/vote. Let us know what you think about our question of the day. I ran into producer Megan, 9 a.m. producer Megan, at Target over in Alameda, while she was looking for her Christmas tree.
Okay.
And she was getting she was like, no, it's all artificial. She's looking for a big one.
Oh, okay, like the ones in a box.
I hope I didn't put her out there like that. But yeah, we had a whole long conversation while we're pushing her carts. You know, I ran into her and she's like, yeah, I'm going to get that tree over there.
Okay.
We have one ready to
and
go.
when Megan sets her sights on something,
she
Megan gets
gets it done.
Yeah, she does. Good.
All right. Well, look, as we go to break, let's take one more look at that poll, and you can start voting now. Look at that QR code, the top right-hand corner of your screen. It'll take you to our poll.
In today's Monday morning quarterback, the 49ers enjoy a well-deserved bye week after winning their third straight game. The Niners went into a cold and blustery Cleveland and beat the Cleveland Browns 26-8. Brock Purdy was as dangerous with his feet as with his right arm, scoring a touchdown. And the Niners D, there he is, and he was so happy. He is doing a special dance. Look at this punt return. Sky Moore running. No one's going to catch him until, probably about the 30-yard line. So special teams played well all week long. The fans enjoyed Brock Purdy's moves, and the Niners are now 9-3. All right.
I mean, I've always been able to Dougie, but I haven't really just done it, publicly. And so, my wife, she could tell you actually, like, I annoy her in the kitchen and all that kind of thing. So that's where I got my practice. But I told the team, so if we're scoring, we're gonna have some fun, and I'm gonna hit the Dougie. So I got an op to do it, so I did it.
Yeah.
The Rams, the 49ers are just one game behind the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams lost after a stunner. The Carolina Panthers, who lost to the Niners last Monday night, shocked the Rams 31-28. The Panthers quarterback Bryce Young, who threw 2 interceptions against the Niners, threw 3 touchdowns against the Rams. The 9-3 Chicago Bears now have the best record in the NFC.
Sal, thank you. Analysts are keeping a close eye on a particular industry this time of year to get a better snapshot of the overall economy.
And Pam Cook is here in the studio with all the details in today's dollars and cents.
The retailers are in focus. We were just talking about shopping a little bit. They are coming off a very big weekend full of shoppers out at the stores. The malls were busy. I can tell you firsthand, I did some research. Today, more will be shopping from home, probably work for those Cyber Monday deals. Consumer spending typically does account for 2/3 of economic activity, so analysts certainly keeping an eye on how much money people are spending, where they're spending it, and who is spending that money. As the opening bell rang this morning, though, the tech stocks headed lower. They are taking the indexes down this morning. As we take a live look at the numbers, the Dow and the NASDAQ started down right off the bat, right when that bell rang, headed down about 200 points each. You can see the Dow dropped a little bit more, 322 points there. Same for the NASDAQ, again, filled with those tech stocks, and they are the ones not doing well today. Auto industry analysts suggest American consumers are not willing to buy an expensive car. The Wall Street Journal reports car buyers are now downsizing, purchasing used cars, and taking out longer loans. Reasons include auto tariffs, inflation, and a tighter job market. The report says cars are sitting on dealer lots longer and more borrowers are defaulting on those loans. Several automakers are also reporting weaker margins and profits for their newer models. The report shows the top 20% of highest income households are still buying new cars. Well, it was a record-setting Black Friday, and the deals are not done yet. More than 73 million Americans plan to shop online today for Cyber Monday. The biggest retailer has some blockbuster deals. Reporter Kaylee Schuyler joins us now from inside a very loud, very busy Amazon fulfillment center. You're in New Jersey. Kaylee, how does it look out there?
Pam, it is certainly loud, and to say it's busy is almost an understatement. I mean, this place is massive. It's the size of 28 football fields, and it has 14 miles of conveyor belts. I mean, almost any direction you look, you can see totes full of products or packages just flying down the building all the way to the other side. And this fulfillment center alone is going to send out hundreds of thousands of packages just from Cyber Monday orders. And if you've ever thought to yourself, how in the world can I order a package in the morning and it be on my doorstep by the afternoon? Well, this is how they do it. The fulfillment center has 3,000 employees and utilizes robots. So instead of workers walking long aisles to pick items, the robots bring entire shelves of products directly to the workers. Amazon says AI also helps predict product demand. So the company looks at purchase history, search trends, and product reviews so they can handle the thousands of orders they receive every single second. But it's going to be a big day for a lot of businesses. Adobe Analytics expects Cyber Monday will be the second biggest shopping day of the holiday season. Today, people are expected to spend more than $14 billion. That's an increase of 6.3% from last year. And if you want to cash in on the deals, but you aren't exactly sure what to get, one Amazon VP tells me about their AI tool, Rufus.
must ask, you know, what should I get for my dad who enjoys gardening and who enjoys outdoor cooking? And Rufus will provide great recommendations. If you know what you want, it will also help you to provide a lot of those comparison opportunities. So which would be the best toaster oven for me, or which would be the right KitchenAid stand mixer for me.
Amazon says shopping trends show that right now a lot of people are looking for deals on electronics, beauty items, and toys. In Robbinsville, New Jersey, Kaylee Schuyler, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
All right. Thank you, Kaylee, for that update from the Amazon Fulfillment Center. Just keep in mind, we do have a lot of people think of Amazon. It is a huge company, but it does also have a lot of smaller companies. They use Amazon to fulfill that. Cyber Monday deals. You can also still get free shipping options, not just by using Amazon. You can select free pickup in store from some of those stores. I'm Pam Cook. That's Look at Your Dollars and Cents.
Pam, thank you. Let's get outside in at South Castaneda, monitoring a Monday morning commute. How's it looking, Sal?
Yeah, it looks like a lot of people are back there, Garcia and Dave. A lot of people are back on the road. Let's go back to Highway 24 westbound. And it does look like it's getting a little better. For example, it's not as slow as it was maybe a half hour ago, but it's certainly not light. The Bay Bridge is not light either. That is backed up all the way out to the maze, and the metering lights are on. Let's check on the Richmond-San Rafael Bridge. You can see that traffic is going to be busy. So it's not light, although things are improving as we get closer to 8 o'clock. 7:52, what about today's weather? And here's Rosemary.
Good morning, Sal. Giving you a live look here over San Francisco. We've got the fog drifting by. We've got high clouds up above that. Some of that low cloud cover out there helping to offset widespread dense fog, but it is still patchy in nature, getting onto the highways through the Delta region, through our valleys. Be prepared for sudden drop in visibility over the next couple of hours. Ridge of high pressure is locked in, and with that, all the storms being deflected to the north and then dropping in on the backside of California into the Great Basin. When we have this type of setup, we don't see any rain, but we do see the offshore wind from time to time. That offshore wind is actually going to help chew up the fog a little bit, and we are likely to see some better clearing as we get into the days ahead. And the Futurecast model showing you how, again, the storms just kind of do one of these and then whoop, into the Great Basin, where by Tuesday night into Wednesday could be the stronger offshore wind than what we're actually seeing out there for today. Now with that, we may have a better viewing of the final full moon of 2025 coming in on Thursday. It will rise at 3:14 in the afternoon, so by the time we actually see it at moonrise for us at 4:26, it'll be a spectacular view. That is also helping to create the king tides that are coming our way Tuesday through Sunday. That shade of green there indicating where we may see some low-lying flooding. Tomorrow morning, a high tide will be around 8:24. So low-lying areas, hiking areas, parking lots, things like that could be impacted. And along the coastline, the beach hazard alert now goes until Wednesday night, 10 p.m. for increased risk of sneaker waves and rip currents, as well as large breaking waves out there. Temperature-wise, we are slowly rebounding, but it is still very chilly. Low 40s to low 50s. And for the afternoon today, low 50s to low 60s with a mix of sun and clouds. The extended forecast, a little more sunshine coming our way and temperatures warming up slightly. We'll be in the low 60s for the week ahead and into the weekend. Dave?
All right, Rosemary, thank you. Time is 7:54. A new high-scale immigration sweep is looming, new at 8 o'clock. Which states are expected to see a surge in federal agents and why it may be easier to get into some communities. And a big winner at the box office this weekend for Disney. The records that were broken around the world by Zootopia.
So keep that in mind. You have to consider the wind chill factor when it's that cool. And then into the afternoon, we're calling for low 50s to low 60s. Some of our inland cities have really struggled in recent days because we just can't clear that cloud cover. We will begin to see that change. An offshore wind picking up will dry things out just a little bit. So more sunshine on the way for the days ahead, all the way into the weekend. Low 60s in the forecast for the afternoons. Back to you.
A very new twist on an old favorite, how the holiday Yule log on your TV will be backed by modern music that goes way beyond the usual silver bells.
And old debate about whether to buy a real or fake Christmas tree is picking up for the holiday season, and some people are making the decision based on what they think is most sustainable. Experts say there's pros and cons for both options. Because of the plastic and metal materials in artificial trees, experts say they should be kept and reused for a minimum of 7 years. This will lower overall impacts on the environment compared to buying a real tree every year.
Such a high upfront investment of energy and impact, but the longer that you use it, the more you can kind of amortize or to allocate those impacts over time compared to a real Christmas tree.
A lot of calculations involved, a lot of math when considering it. It takes about 7 to 8 years to grow a fresh tree, which will only be used once and then is tossed. So using the fake tree for 8 years is less impactful on the planet. Also, try to avoid artificial trees with lights built in to help expand their life cycles. Light bulbs are likely to degrade quicker over time. And this morning, it leads us to a question that we've been asking. What type of Christmas tree do you prefer, real or artificial? 56% of you, this is a change up, say you want the real thing. 44% of you say you want an artificial tree. So scan the QR code top right-hand corner of your screen or go to ktvu.com/vote. Let us know what you think about our question of the day. Netflix has some unique Yule log type displays for the holidays.
Pam Cook is back upstairs with this, and the stocks analysts are watching today in dollars and cents.
Yeah, the Netflixing is very fun. Analysts are watching the retailers. We're all keeping an eye on a very busy time right now. They are coming off a big weekend full of shoppers out at the stores today. More will be shopping from home, maybe at work for those Cyber Monday deals. Consumer spending, keep in mind, typically accounts for 2/3 of economic activity. So analysts are certainly keeping an eye on how much money people are spending, where they're spending it, and who is spending. A lot of those higher income, they're shopping at the lower retail markets. But as that opening bell rang this morning, the tech stocks headed lower. They are taking the indexes down this morning. As we take a live look at the big board now, right off the bat, the Dow and the NASDAQ dropped about 200 points. The Dow dropped another 100 or so, but it is coming back, now down about 240 or so. NASDAQ, same percentage-wise, about the same across the board for the S&P 500 as well. NVIDIA has invested $2 billion in a chip design software maker called Synopsys. NVIDIA says it's an engineering and design partnership. Under the deal, Synopsys shares will be priced at $415. That is part of NVIDIA's investment in companies expected to be successful in the AI boom. NVIDIA even invested $5 billion in rival chip maker Intel in an effort to work together on developing chips for data centers, both Bay Area companies. For the holidays, Netflix launched 3 new Yule log streams if you want a unique virtual fireplace in your home. Some of them a little creepier. That first one, if you remember the first season of Stranger Things, they are Stranger Things themed. There it is. K-pop Demon Hunters also makes an appearance, and one inspired by the show Wednesday. You can use it for themed parties or just to set a fun mood at your home. Again, that's Netflix. Auto industry analysts suggest American consumers are not as willing to buy an expensive car. The Wall Street Journal reports car buyers are downsizing, purchasing used cars, and taking out longer loans. Reasons include auto tariffs, inflation, and a tighter job market. The report says cars are sitting on dealer lots longer, and more borrowers are defaulting on those loans. Several automakers also report weaker margins and profits for their newer models. The report shows the top 20% of highest income households are the ones still buying new cars. I'm Pam Cook. That's Look at Your Dollars and Cents.
Pam, thank you so much. Time now is 8:26. Assaults on ICE agents taking center stage with the Trump administration claiming incidents are spiking, what a California media group found when it investigated the cases.
The man accused of gunning down a healthcare CEO in Manhattan a year ago is back in court this morning. Why defense attorneys say some of the evidence was obtained illegally and why they say it should be thrown out.
put an end to all the violence that we live with, insecurity every day. Young children die, people of all ages die like every day, and it's something that we have to live with, fear.
Grief and shock following a mass shooting inside a banquet hall in Stockton that left 4 people dead at a child's birthday party. A live report here as we're learning more about one victim, just 8 years old, and the plea for help from the public. Then on the Cyber Monday, how can you tell if a deal is too good to be true? We'll talk with a cybersecurity expert on how scammers are using artificial intelligence to reap real rewards at the expense of shoppers.
From KTVU Fox 2 News, this is Mornings on 2.
Good morning and welcome back. I'm Gassia Mikaelian.
I'm Andre Sr. It is Monday, December 1st. Thank you for joining us. You can see the sun is up here, at least along the Oakland estuary. Let's find out how the rest of the Bay Area is doing. Rosemary Resco, she is in the Weather Center this morning tracking it all for us.
Yes, good morning to both of you. Still seeing some fog out there this morning. This capture we have over San Francisco shows the high clouds, the low clouds. We have patchy dense fog, although not widespread and no advisories. You may find some along those highways through our valleys, the Carquinez Strait and the Delta region, heading over towards the Sacramento and San Joaquin Valley area. Temperature-wise, it was a very cold start and still very cool. We are slowly rebounding. Low 40s to about 50 degrees across the region. As we get into the afternoon, low 50s to low 60s under a mix of sun and clouds. Better details on the current conditions and the afternoon for today as well as the week ahead. Coming up in just a little bit at 8:30. Let's see how those highways are shaping up. Sal, good morning.
Good morning, Rosemary. You know, I like what I'm seeing here. Things are improving rather quickly. Even though, you know, it's been very heavy, but now we're seeing improvement. I can already tell that this is going to be better in the next half hour or so, and that's good news. 880 has never really been an issue heading north into downtown Oakland, and as you push into the East Bay commute, things are definitely getting better, although we still have some slowing heading south on 880 from San Leandro to Fremont. It's 8:31. Let's go back to the desk.
Sal, thank you. Grief counselors will be on campus at all schools in Stockton today following a deadly weekend mass shooting that left 3 children and a young adult dead.
KTVU's James Torres is live from Stockton, where the sheriff's office is still looking for the shooters involved in this horrific tragedy, James.
And good morning to you both. We are standing just out in front of that banquet hall where just behind me you can see what looks like bullet holes that riddled through what seems like a garage door and parts of the wall in front of it. And then just in front of the actual building, a makeshift memorial has been here since that tragedy. We see a number of candles. They have been lit since early this morning. Teddy bears and flowers as well, all in honor of those 4 people who were killed here. The sheriff's office at this time is now leading the investigation, says that they do not have any suspects named just yet. Here's what we do know. As of Saturday night, witnesses telling KTVU masked gunmen entered the banquet hall, which was hosting a children's party, a birthday party. The gunfire there killed an 8-year-old, a 9-year-old, 14-year-old, and a 21-year-old. A 5th person is in critical condition, and 10 other people were hurt. I've learned the youngest killed, an 8-year-old girl, is a student within the Stockton Unified School District with siblings at other school campuses. We've heard from the Stockton mayor, Christina Fugazi, who says that she is reaching out to the governor, to senators, and the White House for additional resources.
I've also requested a U.S. attorney because we're not going to allow this to continue in the city. So once they get the message, once these gang members get the message that we're not playing in the city of Stockton, then they're going to go somewhere else.
Now, while the mayor mentions gang activity, the San Joaquin sheriff is not yet confirming or commenting on that. The office says it is now asking for anyone with information to come forward. There is a $25,000 reward now up for grabs. Grief counselors will be available at all 55 Stockton Unified School campuses. The superintendent saying the district is committed to supporting the community during this heartbreaking time. I will be speaking with the superintendent coming up in the next hour. We're live this morning in Stockton. I'm James Torres, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
James, thank you. We're learning more about the suspected attacker in last week's shooting of 2 National Guard soldiers in Washington, D.C. Ramanullah Lokhandwal is an Afghan national who moved to the U.S. 4 years ago after working in a special Afghan army unit backed by the CIA. According to the Associated Press, he'd been unraveling for years, was unable to hold a job, and flipped between long stretches of isolation and taking sudden weeks-long cross-country drives. The report also says he's been struggling to adjust to his life in the United States. The Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, says he was radicalized after arriving in this country.
We do believe it was through connections in his home community and state, and we're going to continue to talk to those who interacted with him, who were his family members, talk to them. So far, we've had some participation, but anyone who has information on this needs to know that we will be coming after you, and we will bring you to justice.
Lochinwall is facing first-degree murder for the death of 20-year-old Sarah Beckstrom. 24-year-old Andrew Wolf is still in critical condition. Lochinwall has been visited by the intelligence community for his work with the CIA before coming to the U.S. He was granted asylum this year, which would have warranted another screening.
Time now is 8:35. A new report disputes the Trump administration's repeated claims that assaults on immigration agents have increased by more than 1,000% in the past year. The LA Times has reviewed thousands of court documents from California and other states that indicate that statistic is highly misleading, and the vast majority of these alleged assaults resulted in no injuries. The White House has cited violence against ICE agents as its justification for aggressive tactics, including threats to deploy the National Guard and U.S. Marines.
Happening today, the man accused of killing the United Healthcare CEO is back in court. Luigi Mangioni's attorneys are looking to have some key evidence tossed from a state murder case, including diary entries. He was arrested at a McDonald's in Pennsylvania following a manhunt that spanned multiple days. United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was shot and killed in Manhattan last December. During the arrest, officers say they found several pieces of evidence in Mangioni's backpack that linked him to the murder. Mangioni's lawyers argue that police illegally searched his bag without a warrant and that the evidence should be tossed.
Well, Cyber Monday deals are everywhere, but so are scammers. For tips on how to shop safely this holiday season, we welcome Chris Kamel, Director of Advisory Services at Trusted Tech. Chris, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks. Good morning.
All right. So, Chris, if there is technology, there is someone trying to figure out how to use it against you. With that, how is AI playing into scamming, particularly on the Cyber Monday?
Yeah, it makes things a lot easier and faster for the scammers, where you used to have to try to create a scam website by hand from scratch. AI, you can just have the tools do a lot of the work for you and make something that looks realistic in a lot less time.
So with that in mind, a lot of people are going to be on websites looking for deals, maybe seeing these ads. What is your advice to people when they're out today looking for those cyber deals? Should you just focus on the major companies?
Yeah, major companies is a great way to go. You know, trusted websites, known brands. Something that looks too good to be true probably is. If you're looking for something that is hard to find, not really in stock in a lot of places, and you find some website that magically just has it in stock, that's red flag. Also, extremely low prices. If something's being sold for ridiculously low price compared to what the major retailers have it for, that's another big red flag.
All right, and some of the things that normally people would look out for when they are shopping, you know, things like misspellings on that website can be key indicators, but those scammers are using this technology to refine that part of things. Can you go into a little bit to how they're using it to kind of just be better at scamming people?
Yeah, it's for them, it's really about speed and the consistency, being able to take and have a duplicate of a realistic looking website that has a lot less of those kind of those telltales that we used to look for, those, as you said, the misspellings, just images that don't match up with the products. So just a faster way to get a more realistic scam site.
I wanted to go over some of the standard things that we want to just remind people every year, and it's to shop with trustworthy sellers on secure sites only. What should buyers be looking out for on the webpage so they know that they are not being scammed?
Yeah. So the first thing is look at the website URL. If you're looking for, you look up at the top and you would expect to see like the retailer's name with the .com at the end. If you're seeing something other than that, if it's, it looks like the retailer's name, but it has like a .ru or a .cn, just something other than .com, that's your first warning sign that this may be a copy of a real retailer's site. And then within the page itself, just looking to make sure everything, clicking through to different pages, making sure they actually go to the right spot. And of course, the encryption, when you have the little padlock at the top of the browser, letting you know that it is an actual encrypted, protected site rather than just something that somebody set up with a spoof site.
some of these sites, they're asking for wire transfers or prepaid debit cards. But the advice is pay with a credit card when you buy on sites for added protection. How does that help the consumer?
Yeah, credit cards have some of the best consumer protections around. Effectively, it's not your money when you use a credit card. And if there's any sort of issue, if it's a scam, you just call the credit card company and have it taken off of your bill. Some of these things where they ask for prepaid debit cards or to have you go to the store and buy a gift card and use that gift card to pay or transfer the gift card to them, those are things you can't take back. Look, once that money's gone, it's potentially gone for good. And even your own personal debit card, it's money that comes out of your bank account that you now have to fight to get put back into your bank account. And that may take time, that may interfere with other bills or purchases that you're planning to pay or make until you get that money back.
And we just have a few moments left here, but I did want to talk about this because a lot of people are getting these scam messages, text messages on their phones. And of course, you're doing a lot of ordering for Christmas, and you might get this message that says your delivery, we have an issue with your delivery, please click on this link. Tell us how that works so people can look out for it.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. It can be emails, it can be text messages, and they're just firing out messages that look like they're coming from banks, credit card companies, major retailers, relying on the consumer to think, uh-oh, there's a problem. I need to go get my order straightened out so it gets here on time. And turns out they're just sending those out to everybody, hoping people will fall for it. So if you do get something that looks like it's a problem with your order, go to your account on the retailer site or go to your credit card account directly. Don't click on the links in the messages or the emails. Go to your known good website and check in there to see if you can find a problem with the order or a problem with your credit card.
Just good reminders here. I know some of them, things that we've said before, but, every time the holidays come around, just good to mention it, keep it in the back of people's minds. Chris Cameo, Director of Advisory Services at Trusted Sec, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
8:41 here, a high-stakes hearing today focused on illegal music downloads. Why Sony and other music giants say one internet provider didn't go far enough when it comes to taking action against people who steal songs. Then KTVU's annual One Warm Coat Drive is well underway, and you can help make sure people in need stay warm this winter. If you're able to donate a new or gently worn coat, please scan the QR code on your screen or head to KTVU.com. We have a long list of participating drop-off locations. Our One Warm Coat Drive runs until December 14th.
In today's Monday morning quarterback, it was a wild finish as the Denver Broncos edged out the Washington Commanders with a 27-26 overtime win. Denver kept its 9-game hot streak alive while Washington dropped its 7th straight game. Washington tied the game with a field goal as time expired, then scored again in overtime. But instead of kicking for a tie, they went for the win. Oh, that was a bad idea. That's when Denver's Nick Bonito swatted down the final pass. Ending the game, the Broncos moved to 10-2 and stay in the race for the #1 playoff spot. The Rams dropped to 9-3 after a 31-28 loss to the Panthers, a game defined by turnovers and a shaky defensive performance by L.A. Los Angeles had just one third-quarter possession. Matthew Stafford threw 2 picks before a late strip sack ended their chance at a comeback. Kyren Williams and Blake Corum ran for a combined 153 yards and 2 scores. That defense struggled. They allowed 164 rushing yards. That's the team's 2nd highest total of the season. And the Houston Texans are back in the playoff hunt after a crucial road win, taking down the Indianapolis Colts 20-16. Quarterback C.J. Stroud returned from injury. He threw the ball 276 yards. The game-winning score came from Nico Collins on this 7-yard run in the 4th quarter. Now on a 4-game win streak, the Texans improved to 7-5 and are 1 game away from first place in the AFC South.
Happening today, the U.S. Supreme Court will soon decide a copyright case between internet providers and music labels. Sony Music and other labels sued Cox Communications, accusing the internet company of knowingly allowing customers to illegally download music. A lower court sided with Sony, awarding it a $1 billion judgment. The judge found Cox Internet was guilty of failing to cancel the service of people who were repeatedly flagged for illegally downloading music.
Police in San Jose expected to release new details today about the Black Friday shooting at Valley Fair Mall. 3 people were wounded in what investigators believe was a gang-related argument outside of Macy's. A woman and a 16-year-old girl were hit by stray bullets but are expected to survive. The mall reopened Saturday with increased security, and so far no arrests have been made.
Theranos founder Elizabeth Holmes may be seeking a pardon from the president. Her social media account's been posting statements proclaiming her innocence while expressing strong support for the president. Some legal experts say she's likely seeking a presidential pardon after losing an appeal in court earlier this year. She's in a Texas prison following her 2022 fraud conviction connected to her blood testing startup. It's unclear who's posting on Holmes' account. She does not have internet access in prison. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are calling for a congressional review
of the recent military strikes on boats in the Caribbean. The strikes are targeting boats suspected by the Trump administration to be smuggling drugs. Some Republicans and Democrats on Capitol Hill are concerned about a Washington Post report that says Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth issued a verbal order for all crew members to be killed during the strikes. The lawmakers say attacking survivors of an initial missile strike poses serious legal and moral concerns. U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff is heading to Moscow later today to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin. They will discuss the Trump administration's latest plan to end the war in Ukraine. Witkoff's trip follows several hours of high-level negotiations between U.S. and Ukrainian diplomats in Miami. Secretary of State Marco Rubio calls the talks, quote, productive, and view the negotiations as a step forward in ending the 4-year war. Rubio is now hopeful today's meeting in Moscow could soon lead to a final peace agreement.
It's delicate, it's complicated, there are a lot of moving parts, and obviously there's another party involved here that'll have to be a part of the equation, and that'll continue later this week when Mr. Witkoff travels to Moscow.
Critics say the latest U.S. peace proposal favors Russia, with Ukraine getting very little in return.
There's another push to repeal Proposition 19, passed by voters back in 2020, to encourage older homeowners to downsize by letting them avoid paying higher taxes when they move. 19 also limits homeowners' ability to pass their lower tax base on to their children. Approvals for these parent-child property tax exclusions plummeted in the Bay Area following Prop 19's passing, from nearly 17,000 in 2020 to 4,500 in 2023. Opponents of Prop 19 are now working to get a repeal on the ballot next year. California's Attorney General is supporting a proposed law to address the crisis of missing and murdered indigenous people. Rob Bonta joined other attorneys general in a letter of support for the Tribal Warrant Fairness Act. The law would provide help from the U.S. Marshals Service. Indigenous communities have historically suffered violence at disproportionately high levels. Backers of the proposal say it'll help with searches for missing children and capturing suspects.
More than 30 volunteers came out to the UC Botanical Garden for cleanup over the weekend. The event was hosted by AZs, a global organization with a mission to, quote, save the earth from A to Z. The cleanup is part of their Green Earth campaign. We spoke to one of the volunteers about the focus of the cleanup.
Due to the recent rainfall, actually there has been a lot of debris and a lot of things that we really want to help out the garden so that it can look perfect for tourists and even for people living around here.
AZs also host crime prevention forums and anti-cyberbullying programs around the globe.
A few Lake Tahoe ski resorts were open for the long Thanksgiving weekend. Mount Rose, Boreal, and Heavenly are up and running. Other resorts say they hope to open soon. Snowmaking machines are running whenever conditions allow.
Use those webcams. Those webcams are awesome. They tell the real story. Are you getting to read the snow reports? Go to the webcams, take a look at it, and you'll be able to see, are they making snow? Are they not making snow? What's the upper elevation look like? Is it windy or is it not windy?
Some resorts, such as Sierra at Tahoe, have yet to announce an opening date. Kirkwood says it'll open for the winter on Friday.
Yeah, pack those chains, too, and it might help if you know how to put them on, because sometimes there aren't people up there to help. So you know that, right, if you're an experienced snow traveler. Southbound 880, slow in Hayward. It's also slow in Union City. But things are getting better throughout. 880 in Oakland looks better. And at the Bay Bridge, the backup is only to about the end of that parking lot. So we've had the last hour here, as we close in on 9 o'clock, we see definite improvement. But, you know, it's cold out there. Had to use the heater at home. Rosemary, you know, I just throw on a sweatshirt, but sometimes at night you just got to use the heater.
You're right. I have the heater on all the time, Sal. Yeah. We got to be comfortable. Good morning to you. Outside our doors, you're right. You may need the sweatshirt, a thicker coat, maybe some gloves. It's a chilly start, although I am seeing some improvement. We'll talk about those numbers and show you those here momentarily, giving you a live look over San Francisco. You can see some fog there. We've got high clouds, low clouds, patchy, dense fog, although the low clouds helping to offset it just a little bit, and it's not as widespread as we have seen it in recent days. This ridge of high pressure is locked in. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. It's going to continue to bring us some dry weather through the week and into the weekend. The storms continue to move up and over the ridge and drop in on the backside of California, and that's the pattern that sets up that offshore wind. We have it out there this morning with even a stronger event expected to come by midweek Wednesday. Right now, that northeast breeze, Atlas Peak 14, Mount St. Helena, it's 29, and over towards the Oakland Hills north and south, 20 to 37 miles per hour. So that is drying things out. And with that, we should have sunnier days coming our way and less in the way of fog. Just in time for the final super moon of 2025 coming in on Thursday. It will rise in our sky at 4:26 p.m. It will not set until Friday morning around 7:05. So hopefully you get a chance to see it. It should be very spectacular. Meanwhile, we continue with a couple of advisories along our coast and inside our bay. We've got the increased risk of sneaker waves and rip currents continuing for our entire coastline. This will go until Wednesday evening. And that coastal flooding advisory goes Tuesday to Sunday. So with the full moon and the gravitation of that mixed with the sun, we've got that low-lying areas of flooding a possibility. Tomorrow morning, 8:24 will be the high tide. That's when we could see it occur for tomorrow. Temperature-wise, low 40s to low 50s, a chill in the air followed by low 50s to low 60s for the afternoon. Your extended forecast, slightly warmer as we get into the days ahead. Could be a bit breezy to windy on Wednesday. For your weekend, partly cloudy and low 60s. Back to you.
Rosemary, thank you so much. The art of making people mad online, officially a big deal. When you join us on the 9, the word of the year from Oxford and how it's becoming the defining term of 2025. 8:56 is your time this morning. Police in Rohnert Park say a 17-year-old was arrested in connection with a deadly hit-and-run crash. On Friday night, investigators say a pedestrian was hit and killed by a pickup truck near Snyder Lane and Capri Way. Police say they found the suspect in Petaluma and took him into custody. Rohnert Park police say the suspect's name will not be released since he's a minor. The victim has also not been identified.
Construction begins today on a 2-mile stretch of 19th Avenue in San Francisco, which is likely to cause more traffic and longer commutes. Caltrans plans to repave all 6 lanes of 19th Ave between Lincoln, south of Golden Gate Park, all the way down to Sloat during the next year. Commuters say they are not looking forward to the closures.
I think it would be horrible for traffic, horrible for businesses along this section, and then people that live here.
Phase 1 begins today, starting at Sloat. Crews will repave parking strips first, with full lane repaving planned for Phase 2 in the spring. Caltrans says work will generally take place Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., with 2 lanes open and 1 lane closed in the direction of active work. We should note that some bus stops may also be relocated during this project. Preparations are underway to remove the old toll booths from the Richmond-San Rafael Bridge. The Marin Independent Journal reports the work begins next week. Crews will begin taking out the unused booths and installing a temporary system that'll read fast-track tags and license plates. Caltrans and the Bay Area Toll Authority say the switch will improve traffic flow and safety and will help reduce emissions. It's part of a larger program to convert all 7 state-owned bridges to open road tolling in the coming years.
It is 8:58 right now. Menlo Park's school district cracking down on e-bikes now. Starting this week, students under 16 cannot bring any e-bike that exceeds 20 miles per hour or can run without pedaling onto campus. The district cites growing safety concerns in recent crashes. Officials say many of these bikes have been illegally modified to reach 50 or 60 miles an hour, and police have recorded multiple collisions in the area. Menlo Park is one of the first South Bay districts to adopt a ban.
Later this week, members of San Francisco's teachers union are set to take a strike vote. The vote is now set for Wednesday. It follows the union's 8 months of contract talks with San Francisco Unified. The negotiations have failed to reach an agreement, with the 2 sides still far apart on proposed teacher raises, expanded health care, and other issues. Frustrated union leaders say the San Francisco teachers are now ready to walk the picket line. The school district is vowing to bargain in good faith to reach an agreement. A quick pause and a look outside on a beautiful Monday morning, kicking off the brand new month of December. The Oakland estuary glittering in the morning sun, but it's cold out there. Mornings on 2 to 9 starts in 6.